Hackers are getting more and more sophisticated each and every year. And if you're not careful, they're going to give you a miserable time on the internet. Are you doing everything you can to protect yourself online? NordVPN software allows me to safely browse the internet without being traced. NordVPN is now more than just a VPN provider. They have introduced threat protection, giving you even more comprehensive security against cyber threats. It blocks trackers, it stops malicious ads, and it steers you away from harmful websites and files. Enjoy a safer and more private internet. NordVPN will continue to hide your location, encrypt your data, and one account you sign up for can secure 6 devices. You can sign up to NordVPN now risk-free on a 2-year plan plus 4 months free. Just go to nordvpn.com/football terrace and give yourself real peace of mind when online. What we can even do is give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So get yourself signed up now and enjoy the rest of the NordVPN Top 6 show. Welcome back to the NordVPN Top 6 show, people. Smash like buttons. Make sure you're subscribing as ever. Big show tonight, building up to Man City traveling to Anfield. Arsenal, can they stay top as they go to Ellen Road to play Leeds United? Chelsea, Villa, Manchester United hosting Newcastle. We're going to be talking Tottenham, Conte's new deal, and the potential sponsorship by Google. Big money on its way to Tottenham to help further their push to challenge for those major honors as well. I've got a fantastic panel with me tonight. Down there in the bottom right corner, ready to go. Kaz is back with us as usual, repping Liverpool, hoping for a good weekend. Is man like Tom Little. He was crying last time we had him on. The cat that's got the cream is here too in EGAL, ready to rep Arsenal and talk all things top 6. And of course, Jessica Black is here with us, hair done, looking ready to go. Now, we are meant to have another guest on tonight, a Spurs fan who has called out the Terrace for our Spurs hate. He has the agenda, he has the link, and we're waiting for him to arrive. He has it, or he called me out, said, you haven't sent it to me yet? He's had it for half an hour. And same as everyone else, where they get the half hour before he's got the link. So hopefully he comes on to talk all the topics and, of course, challenge the Football Terrace. He's not very happy with what we do. He's called for us to be cancelled because I think Arsenal is scary. So, yeah, who knew? Who knew? I don't know where he is right now, but he's got a place welcome on here. He will not be ambushed. He'll be given the opportunity to speak. But remember, there's no echo chambers here. How are we all doing, though, people? We all good?
I read that music for that NordVPN thing. That had me dancing in the background.
You liked it. You liked it. Maybe you can do a dancing TikTok again, EGAL. Like you love
know
a bit
what?
of dancing TikTok.
By popular demand, people are asking for it, but I don't think I want to go through the stress of seeing it. Because I know there's a couple that are hidden away. If anyone's seen those, damn, I'll be done.
Yeah, I might just tonight when I'm chilling, I might just go through a few of your old TikToks and strip those dance videos out and make some compilations for you. That's what we can do. But yeah, looking forward to tonight's show. Of course, sponsored by NordVPN. And I want to say, people, a lot of you signed up last week, which was amazing. But I have found the best offer yet for football fans. This is the best offer, okay? So imagine this, people. Premier League football, every game. Champions League, La Liga, Ligue 1, Europa League, okay? International football, Formula 1, the UFC, Bellator, the majority of the boxing bouts that happen, plus tennis and all other sports. For $2.99, that's $2.99 per month. Santander Sports via Moldova. So you change it, put your VPN on, put it out of Moldova, $2.99 per month. It's a steal. It's a deal. It's the deal of the century. It really, really is. All your sporting needs for $2.99 a month if you sign up via NordVPN. Get NordVPN, use a VPN provider to do that. And we know that it's to stop hacking and it's to stop you getting your data harvest and all of that. But that's quite boring. It's sensible but boring, like car insurance or the MOT. The fun bit is driving the car, right? This is driving the car. So make sure you get signed up today to NordVPN. Special offer by scanning that QR code above my head.
That's a hell of a throwback. That's Setanta Sports. I remember back in like 07, 08, they used to do it in England. You used to get like ports with Liverpool on Setanta Sports.
Yeah, do you know what it is? That we used to have? It's still in Ireland. I think Ireland still have Setanta Sports 3 p.m. kickoffs there. They just went a bit big in England and they overstretched themselves, and they didn't have enough people sign up. But yeah, Setanta Sports still exists in a number of countries around Europe. There we go. Top salesman. I am a good salesman, but the reason I'm a good salesman is because I bring things to people they need, and that is the epitome of a good salesperson. Is you bring products and services people want, and then they go and get them. So go and use it, people. Go and sort it out. It's the best package you'll get, $2.99, but that's a month for all those sports. Or you can do a yearly package of £33.99. £33. I pay 65 a month now with BT and Sky. It's a madness. It is a madness. But where we're going to start today, my people? Where we're going to start today? We've got a poll. We've got a poll running. So remember, the viewers get to pick what the major talking points are, and what they've picked actually as the first talking point today is, are Arsenal overhyped? That is the first talking point of the day. Are Arsenal overhyped? I want to go to Tom. I mean, I wish the Spurs fan was here because this would have been great for him to tell us why. It's on the agenda. But Tom, are Arsenal overhyped?
No. No one's saying they're the best team in the league, but so far this season they've been the second best team in the league quite comfortably. They're playing really nice football, winning games. That's the most important thing. Winning games in every competition, getting the fringe players, getting numbers out the fringe players as well. So there's no worry about that. The worries that I had for them at the start of the season, they're slowly starting to fix them and show me that they've got it dealt with. They've got it on wraps. I just wonder. I'll still have it until late on in the season when the pressure gets on them, whether it's in the Europa League or let's say they've got a mad title challenge. Do their players have that mentality? But to start the season off with, they're not overhyped. They're performing really well, and there's no one suggesting any outlandish things.
I think the fact that you started with second, of course, you're saying Man City's been better than us this season. Am I wrong?
Yeah, Man City have been better.
I think if you look at the points on the board, obviously we've been better. But hey, I feel like this whole thing about overhyped, the reason why people are going to say overhyped is because you don't expect us to finish first. Obviously, we're just happy that we're playing well. We played some good teams, but to say we're overhyped would assume that we're yelling and screaming that we're actually going to win the league, or we're actually going to do this, or we're actually going to do that. I think majority of fans that are saying this are mainly saying it tongue in cheek. But yeah, I don't think we're overhyped. I think we're properly rated because people are actually speaking about us in a sense that we're actually good. So it just goes to show that we're doing something and we're going in the right direction. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those that's super frustrating, I think, just because I feel like our collapse at the end of the season and our terrible run at the beginning of last season really overshadowed how much we had improved. And so because people only think about those two bookends, the 3 games where we didn't score any goals and we were dead last, and the collapse at the end of the season, people acted like we hadn't improved. You know, I saw lots of people saying that we'd finish outside of the top 4. We didn't have a chance. We'd finish below Newcastle. And of course, there's still a long way to go. But now people are acting like, where have they come from? This must have been a fluke. And a lot of the things that we're doing now this season, we were doing last season. We're just doing them better. And it's going to take a while. I think ultimately, like any Arsenal fan that's sitting there and getting really frustrated around, like, you know, people aren't rating us or people still don't believe in us, we have to keep it real too. Like, it's been a long time since we've been decent. So it's going to take time. You're going to have to win trophies. Our players are going to have to sustain this. We can't collapse at the end of the season. But I feel like everything is so on the different ends of the spectrum. We're either the best team that ever lived, or we're so bad. And it's probably somewhere in the middle. And so are we overhyped in terms of a title challenging team? Maybe. You know, I don't think we're actually going to be fighting with City all the way to the end. But are we overhyped as a top 4 team? No. And I think people that are still saying that, oh, well, you know, I still don't see how they're going to finish top 4. Da, da, da. I feel like that's where people are going overboard. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it, I guess.
what you saying, Kaz? I know. Look, there's banter, right? There's banter. There's having a laugh. There's challenging, but overhyped in what? Do you feel like Arsenal fans are getting ahead of themselves? Do you feel like the media are starting to talk like they're better than they really are, or is this just kind of again rivals being a little bit salty that they can't laugh at Arsenal anymore?
It's a bit of everything, really. I'll always want to refuse Arsenal going to be that team again, but you can't deny what they're doing. Even for myself, massive agenda against Arsenal, happy and proud, always will do, forever and ever. Like Liverpool, though, you will always walk alone. Don't worry, my friends. And you'll be alone when you're 17 points behind them as well. But the actual objective for Arsenal this season is top 4, no? And you're 17 points clear of someone like Liverpool, who's meant to be someone that's challenging. And that's now they're looking like they're in a battle for Europa League. So that's 1+ on there. So you're gonna hit your objective, and that's that. And you're gonna get a better caliber of player. So next season's looking even worse. Slightly. It depends what deals they can get done. As a United fan, though, obviously, I mean, no one wants to see Arsenal do well. I don't mind Arsenal as a club. It's the fans, because when it comes to online stuff, everyone knows it's Man United fans always versus Arsenal fans. And then the other end, the little section of Chelsea fans. In this section is Tottenham fans wanting to be relevant. And in this section, don't even get me started on City and Liverpool, just always circulating anyways, because they just want to be the main character and they never are. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think before we actually talk about the game this weekend that's coming up for the game this weekend that's coming up for Arsenal, I don't see that they're being overhyped. I actually think they're performing above expectations. Some people said top 4, some said struggle for top 4, some said miss out on top 4. You're going to be hard pushed to find very many people in the social media space, pundits, journalists, ex-Arsenal players that were talking about 9 games in being top of the league. Starting, first 12 games of the season. If EGAL would have sat in the stream and said, in our opening 12 games this season, we're going to win 11 of them, the whole panel, the whole audience would have laughed and said delusional. So I don't see how a team can be overhyped for exceeding expectations. I had a go at EGAL for that last year, and this is where I remain consistent when he was saying that West Ham are being overhyped. They can't be overhyped because they're overachieving. You can't be overhyped whilst overachieving, in my opinion. Nobody is suggesting yet, barring Colleen, that Arsenal are going to win the league. And most Arsenal fans are not even sure if they're going to be in a title race because they legitimately see Man City as being better than them over the 38-game period. I said it on the stream earlier on today, mainly calling out the Spurs fan, who, by the way, has now said on Twitter that he never agreed to come on this show, but he DM'd me asking for the link and the agenda for tonight. I'm not going to reveal the DM because I don't do that, but he did. And he's now refusing. He now wants to do a one-on-one debate. The problem is we don't do very many one-on-one shows. So what you'll have to do, my friend, is call in tomorrow night after the Tottenham game when we do a Tottenham call in. You can phone in then and challenge my friend, because I'm not going to create a show just for me and you. I'm not going to break the channel's agenda. Sorry, the channel's schedule for that. But yeah, like I think some people are just bitter that Arsenal are doing so well and they don't like it. They're used to everybody laughing at Arsenal. They're used to everybody kind of shitting on them. And I was listening to TalkSport yesterday, and David Moyes was on the line and just said that he's always been frustrated listening. He actually said listening to TalkSport over recent years, continually hearing the pundits and the people on the shows never giving Arsenal any credit, when he said essentially in football, behind the scenes, everybody was quite impressed with what Arteta was doing and building. The football world could see it, but it wasn't being discussed enough sort of in the mainstream, as it were. So I think Arsenal, very talented, very young team, still a long way to go. There's no doubt about it. They've still got to keep the pressure on the Kroenke's neck. Do I think they're the finished article? Absolutely not. But I do find it really interesting how angry they make people at the moment. And to a point where today alone, I've had people threatening to beat me up, fly to England and hurt me. You saw the DM I got the other day of people wanting to do particular things to my partner and mother with their very long, I don't think it's long, by the way. Yeah, that's my take on it. I think it's rather short, to be honest. But like, that's just my thing. But like, that just shows
we need more depth. We need more details. What do you mean by
he needs more depth? I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, it is what it is. But again,
someone actually came and spoke about a little certain something that we won't mention right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just kept on messaging him back saying, like, I bet you've got a small one. Prove to me you don't. Like, I didn't really want to see, but I was just like, bruv, I'm just gonna troll back the troll. You know, that's what you got to do. Troll back.
Can I say one other thing about this though too? Like, what I find is so funny, this is my favorite thing, is like people are bantering Arsenal for potentially not be title contenders. And the thing is like, you're not going to shift the goalposts on us. I do this all the time. You guys know this. Terry's called me out on this, is when you see somebody doing better than what you thought, you start trying to make them say that they need to be doing something more. We do not need to win the title to be justified in anything this season. So unless we are 10 points clear of Manchester City and we bottle it, if we make top 4, we have done what we're supposed to. So you're not about to put us under pressure to have to win the title because we're up here in October. Nah. And it's not a diss. Telling me, saying today that if Arsenal not winning the title is like some sort of banterable offense, like that's laughable. And I get that, like in the grand scheme, we need to be winning titles and all that type of stuff. But yeah, you're not about to shift the goalposts on us.
Not this. So go on.
I used to look forward to days like this where we wouldn't be compared to Leicester and West Ham. But you know what? It's even funnier because no matter what you do, they're gonna try to find something to banter you with. So I'm fair play for it.
Gal, listen, this is the thing. Sean actually put a message in a minute ago. Big up, respect, one of our members here. He says, not gonna lie, this channel has just been trolling against Liverpool recently, so I haven't been tuning in a lot. But still respect it and wouldn't tell people not to watch. And he's still a member of the Terrace. And I get there are times we go through processes on the Terrace where Spurs fans love it, or right now Arsenal fans love the Terrace. And it's the point of it is it's rivals talking about each other. So for anyone who's a fan of a club who expect your rivals to always be respectful, that's nonsense. The only person who will be neutral is me or anyone hosting. The problem is with me being neutral is that sometimes my opinions you're just not going to agree with. But when you've watched me long enough, you realize that my so-called love or newfound appreciation for any particular club will vary. If Spurs start going on a run, winning games, beating the big boys, looking like they're going to win the league, you'll see me start to praise Tottenham. That isn't because I've flip-flopped. It's because they're now really impressing me. It's like this weekend, and we'll get onto it later. If Liverpool lose this weekend, I'm again changing my top 4 predictions because it's a fluid process when it comes to that. But yeah, listen, we'll move on to that a little bit later. The gentleman is now telling me that he didn't know it was today's. I clearly tweeted that he's agreed to come on tonight's show. I'll send him the agenda later, and then he DM'd me saying I want the agenda. But we will get you on the show, my friend, and you can come on and challenge. I still will give you the opportunity. Why? Because that's what the Terrace is about. My point I said earlier on today though is this: asking people to not watch people in the fan channel community continue to shrink our industry and make it harder by telling everyone to not watch each other. My message, it's why I do the fan channel review show and share the links to every channel that feature. It's about trying to help the community grow. Whether people are already bigger than me or on the way up, you try and help them grow as best you can, because the bigger this industry gets, the more we all eat, the better it is for the viewers. I have a real issue with these little silos that certain creators produce, which is, these are me and my people, that's them and their people, or that little group over there. And then anyone that's trying to start up, unless you're in one of these groups, they barely mention you. They don't know that you're there. I think that is damaging the industry, and I've been saying it for years. It's terrible. It's a terrible economic practice, but there we go. Let's look at some of these super chats that have come in here. If you're talking about Liverpool City, we're coming on to that later today, so bear with us on that. Ryan here says, Terry, and I'm sure EGAL and Jess would agree with me on this, but the problem with Arsenal is that we are the most talked about team out of the top 6. Whether we're doing bad or good, the goalpost always moves 100%. And I think Jess just kind of alluded to that. I think Arsenal and Man United most certainly on socials are the most talked about, and good, bad, or indifferent, that's headline news. Me and KJ were laughing last night because United got that last-minute winner. Like, no, and I would say this to most of you tuning in now, rivals do not tune in to the Man United match reaction shows when United win against small teams. No one turns up. So, like, I could call you're all biased. You're all biased, and you don't want to come and share in my glory. But that'd be weird. But anyway, little Tom, it will be okay, bud. Liverpool will be back. Keep your chin up. Arsenal with a midget coach will bottle it again mid-season. Looking lovely, Jess, is what's been said there. Jess and EGAL, who would you rather win on site? We'll come to that one later because it's an interesting one. Terry, just get Patrick or George on and do a one-on-one stream with that Spurs fan, as he might not want to speak his piece in front of all you 5 guys. Yeah, I mean, he can do. We don't do any shows like that. He has to come onto one of our existing shows. I'm not going to create a standalone show for him. But he's more than welcome to come on, and speak. He's a grown man. It's digital based. Nothing's going to happen to him. I'm sure he's not intimidated. Plus, we're not a bunch of idiots over here. So yeah, we can all work that out. On to the game this weekend. Any nerves, EGAL, going up against Leeds at Ellen Road? Any worries or concerns at all?
You know what? I'm just hopeful that our boys keep the good times rolling and they do what they do. Hopefully, Mikel Arteta doesn't make any major changes, keeps the system generally the same. Hopefully, we get out of there and we get in there with our team fully fit. I don't know if he's going to start Eddie Nketiah or Jesus. I know Jesus has reported that he's going to be back, and I hope that Jesus is fully fit and he's available to play. And I just feel like, you know what, we should just go in there expecting to play our game and perform to the best of our abilities, and I think we can win. I think right now it's hard to predict anything but an Arsenal win in that game based on the form that we've been on. And I think that this Leeds team are going to make it tough because it's away from home, but these are the games that we have to win. Away from home, show that you're worth it, and don't let this game be tricky. It's going to be tougher because we're away, and our last two games were at home. But yeah, we shouldn't see too much of a drop off.
I disagree.
What do you disagree with?
You're going to smash them, bro. They got Sinistera, their left winger. You know that pacey merchant, red card, not playing either. I get it. Leeds, you're going to roll over Leeds. I get it. You're playing it safe, Gal, bro. You're going to roll them over. Go check their last results at home, by the way, and tell me where the last home win was and how many games they played at home since as well. Bro, I think look, you lot are top of the league. You have every right to have chest right now. Even if you don't win the game and draw it, you still have chest to win. Do you get what I'm saying? You're allowed. You have the credit in the bank to do it. You're not used to it. I get it, bro. It's been a long time since 2004 and 12 when you was top or something like that. But what I'm trying to get at, same with us, bro. Like it's the same respect. We ain't been there in a minute. But I'm just saying you have the respect and the chest. So you're gonna smash them, bro. Like Martinelli's gonna
Leeds haven't won a game since 21st of August.
What do you think? What is your score prediction, by the way?
I think you lot are gonna roll them over 3-0. I'm not joking. I don't know why I keep thinking Martinelli and Jesus just gonna score. Not Saka. I think Jesus 100%.
I have like a 2-0-ish type score line. Like we should be beating them. Like they're in terrible form. You know, my only thing would be I don't think it's about them beating us. I don't think that, I mean, when I look at their team, I'm like, they have good players, but we're significantly better. It's about whether or not Arsenal can manage the emotional roller coaster of going from two really big matches against big opponents at home and then going against Leeds. And it's a little bit of a different feel, but I expect us to come out of there with a win. We have Leeds, Southampton, and then Nottingham Forest. We have to kind of get 9 points out of those games. So I think we'll beat them, but I don't think it's going to be like 4-0 or something like that. It'll be like 2-0 or something. But yeah, it's all about mentality really with this. You know, I think it's a mentality thing going through the ups and downs of the season. But yeah, Leeds have been terrible. But you know, last season we were like the kings of handing people a win to kind of reinvigorate their season. We can't do that again. So I expect us to be over that.
You'll be fine. You'll be so fine. It's unreal. Leeds haven't beaten anyone since Chelsea, which was the 21st of August.
Really?
They've drawn with Everton, lost 5-2 to Brentford, drew with Aston Villa, lost 2-1 to Palace, and you haven't lost to Leeds since 2003. Like everything points to this just being a simple Arsenal win. These are the routine wins that you need to get if you want to hit your hopes for the season. People will big it up, the atmosphere, Ellen Road, it's going to be a tough place to go. You should bypass that. They're so incredibly out of form at the minute. You should just be walking in there going 4-1. 4-0, 4-1, job done, walk out, next game.
Yeah. It's not Selhurst.
You know what I think, though? I think
he's beat them 4-1 last year.
I listen, sorry to interject. This team haven't won since the 21st of August. They are not very good. The manager's okay. I think he's an okay manager. They're not very good. They don't really score. They concede goals. Arsenal fans have a little on here. Jess and Agal, I'm talking to you. Have a little bit more chest. One thing I will say, I'm not saying go say, oh, we're going to smash them. There's no way they do anything to us. but you are so superior to Leeds. You are top of the league, one of the best teams in Europe on form right now. You have no concerns this weekend. Leeds are pants. They are a relegation threatened team. They're relegation threat. I don't
You guys
understand.
have to remember.
But once
I
again,
feel like you guys
to make
forget
it
our
clear-
trauma is deep.
No,
Like the
forget your
trauma is
traumas. It's
deep.
done now. It's done. They're a relegation team. They're a
Harry,
relegation team. Relax.
Harry, to make it clear, once again, I think me and Jess both spoke about the fact that we're looking at our team internally and we're not worried about Leeds. We're more or less looking at how we play, and as long as we go in there and we play our game, we're gonna win. It's not that the issue. Is
Even
not
if
about,
you don't play your game, you should win. That's how
No, no,
bad
no.
Leeds are.
No. But once again, we're trying to build a level of consistency where we have similar performances week in, week out. We don't want to see poor performances away from Leeds, from home at Leeds after having 2 back-to-back good performances at home. That's my main point. I'm not talking about, go in there and smash them. I have a similar scoreline to Jess. I think we're going to win the game 2-0 also. But I don't think we're going to score a ridiculous amount of goals. I don't think it's going to be such an open game. Leeds, this is not the same Bielsa Leeds that we used to smash like 4 or 5-0.
I understand. And I get what you guys are looking for. It's just, you're gonna win. I don't think anybody is gonna predict anything other than a Arsenal win. Score predictions in the live comment section, people. Make sure the like buttons are being smashed for us. It's very, very important that you get that done on this show. Terry, what's it say here? The chess thing is a myth. We have. What do you mean? Osman Ali, you're a Man United fan. Stop pretending you're an Arsenal fan. We have
I big up Osman, man.
It's a different Osman, Terry, by the way. This is a different Osman.
I disagree.
Nah, he was in that live earlier, bro. This is Osman, bro.
Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it's same profile picture though.
Oh, you mean Usman or Osman?
It's Usman. Sorry, this is.
This
Osman,
ain't Usman.
Osman. Sorry, Osman. Sorry. This is. They've got the same profile picture and everything. This is the guy that loves Isaac. Anyway, I think. I don't realize the trauma within. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying this trauma nonsense. You're playing a relegation team
It's
away
Leeds.
from home.
Harry,
You don't
what's your
have it.
prediction?
What your prediction? I think you're going to beat them by 3 goals. I don't whether it's 4-1, 4-1, 5-2, 3-0, 4-0. You're going to score 3 more goals than them easy. They can barely defend. They can't score. They've got bang average players across the park. The players that were dangerous, Rafinha gone as an example. Dan James gone. He was dangerous on the break, right? Patrick Bamford, is he fit? He's never fit.
I think he's injured again.
He's injured. He's got no scorer. Dallas is out. Forshaw is out. They've got no one. This is a banker. This is a banker. Arsenal fans, get over the PTSD and move yourselves on, people. Viewers. Next talking point on the show, interesting one here. I thought we were going to do Man United Newcastle next, but what's been voted in is who is the best Premier League club for Kylian Mbappe to sign for?
Man United.
Why?
Nah, it's because we know how to handle stars. We've been in it for years for stars.
Yeah.
Egos,
What do you
everything
guys
comes
do
to
with
the theatre
Pogba,
dreams,
though?
man.
Where's your target?
I
man?
mean,
He's a star.
to be fair, I think if Man United play the way they do with Mbappe, the way it is on the inside forward, yeah, cool. But if I'm being real, it's probably Liverpool, man. If they were playing the way they still played, Liverpool would be a very good outfit for the way he plays. But Liverpool right now. So what now?
It's probably still us. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
probably
look at what he's asked for from PSG. Why he's throwing his toys out the pram, wants to leave. The main one was he doesn't want to play striker anymore. So where's he going to play? United.
For me, the weirdest thing
Where's
is
he going to play? Chelsea.
I can't see
wing?
him playing for Graham Potter personally. I just look at him. I'm like, I can't see him playing for Graham Potter. I think he's had other managers have struggled with dealing with the personalities at PSG. Imagine if Graham Potter has to deal with Mbappe at Chelsea. I think that would be difficult. No diss to Graham Potter. I think he's a good manager. I just think Mbappe is such a toxic player recently at PSG that toxicity might come and follow you over to the Premier League. And who would be able to manage that personality? Pep Guardiola, Klopp, maybe. Would Ten Hag be able to manage it? Also rebuilding the squad. I think if you put an Mbappe in Manchester United, it's just another person that is
Not
going to.
really. I have to disagree. He handled
it's another
Ronaldo. He handled Ronaldo very well, and in a situation which is pretty much the most difficult, if you could say, by not even playing in and everything. I think he's handled that very well. And
Bro,
Mbappe's allowed. I don't care. Mbappe's done what he's done. He's won what he's won. Game is full of egos and stuff like that. Yeah, you might think it's toxic and he wants to get out. Bro, it was PSG's fault knowing that they wanted to sign a player that didn't want to stay at the club anyways. They should just allowed my guy to go to Real Madrid.
I think Ten Hag did not manage that situation as well as you're saying. You guys should have just let Ronaldo go, but of course you couldn't let him go because there was no situation, and he chose not to play him. In the long run, is your team better off with Ronaldo not playing, or are they better off with him playing?
Anyone with Mbappe in the team is going to absolutely kill it, regardless.
I would say Liverpool for sure, like in terms of like they lost a huge personality, probably need to bring one back in. Nunez is a strange one because it's like, okay, you brought him in, so you know, we're gonna put Luis Diaz. I guess you can have some depth, whatever. But like, I guess from a Liverpool perspective, like who do you need more? Do you need Mbappe more or do you need Bellingham more? Because you know damn well that FSG are not gonna get you both. So like for me, I'd be like, well, which one would you prefer to have?
I'll be honest. I'll put
Not
it on
both.
if you were to give us the option of Mbappe or Bellingham, I'm taking Mbappe. I will persist with another year of crap in the midfield to have the best player in the world in my team.
Yeah.
Easy.
But Liverpool's choice is like, what do you want? Food or water? Do you know what I mean? You're starving and you're thirsty and you're being offered one of the two. It's mad for me. I think the best club in England for him would be City, but it's not going to happen. I agree with some of Mbappe's gripes. They've promised him things that haven't been delivered. We kind of know that's true because Campos wants to leave as well. So I think there's some legitimate gripes that he's got, but he also wants out because he wants to be the star. That's my issue. If a player wants to be the star, they can become a problem person. When you start moving clubs to be the star, there's an issue there, right? Because you don't know who else is going to come through or be developed or be purchased that could become the star of your team in 12, 18 months. So he went to PSG for that reason, Neymar. And then they bought Mbappe and he got annoyed. then the guy he went to get away from, Messi, also arrived. So let's say he joins Man United and we were like, yeah, we've got him and he's a star. And then we have a superstar kid come through the academy, or we buy a new attacking midfielder who is just looked at as the best of his generation. And the manager decides, right, I want to tweak the system to this to get the best out of you. And suddenly Mbappe is told, you've got to do a bit of a Mo Salah this year. You've got to stay wider. You can't be in the box as much. And it creates a problem. I don't want a player like that. I want a player who is willing, just like Thierry Henry did when he went to Barca, just like Wayne Rooney did at Man United. I want a player that is willing to sacrifice himself for the team. That's just my personal preference. That's my only concern with him, that I don't think you can just bank on being the star of a team for any one particular time. We all know the star of Man City right now is who? The star of Man City right now is Haaland. But you don't see KDB crying about it. You know, Bernardo Silva, I want to leave because I wanted to be the star. They all just work together because they want to win. And that's my only issue with him. But I think if he's going to go anywhere in England at this moment in time, I personally see it being Chelsea. If Todd Bowley will try and buy him. Are you shaking your head now? Chelsea will try to get him. Chelsea can attract him. They've got the London thing going on. They are desperate for a player like him. Chelsea, I think, would be the only English club that could get him.
Game over, man.
I get the Chelsea shout, but they would need someone who'd be able to handle him. I don't know. Would Graham Potter be able to tell Mbappe, you're sitting on the bench today? Would some of these players look at Mbappe and be like, yo, bro, square it to me, I'm open? Would they be able to actually check him if he's making mistakes? I don't think they would. And no one in that dressing room. This is a guy who won the World Cup at the age of 18. Every single player in that dressing room would probably have to bow down to the guy.
No, you're wrong, because they got players like Koulibaly there. They've got Thiago Silva there. They got Sterling there. They've got players who have got enough rep in credit in the bank to handle a man like that. 2, Graham Potter's known for his man management. 3, same way you could question the same. I think you have every right to question, but at the same time, Arteta done the same thing with Aubameyang, done the same thing with your whole squad as it goes, Lacazette and the rest of them, got rid of them and done what he did. And if Graham Potter's going to bring him in, he will handle him.
I also think you're massively overplaying the impact of Mbappe throwing studs out the prom. Let's say on the pitch, you were saying, our player's going to check Mbappe. Yes. Are you telling me that if Mason Mount is open for a one-on-one and Mbappe doesn't pass it, Mount's going to sit there and sit in the corner, apologise to Mbappe for not creating them enough space? He's going to have a go at them. These footballers, they don't look at the rep that big in terms of on the pitch stuff.
I think he has the room to act the way that he's acting because of where he is. He's at PSG. It's his hometown club. They gave him way too much power. If you come to Chelsea, I don't think that those players are just going to cower to him. Like, I just don't see that. And like the one thing that Chelsea have over Liverpool, which I think would be significant, is the fact that they will continue to spend. They will continue to spend. So even if they brought in Mbappe, they'll continue to buy more players at very expensive players. Where I feel like Liverpool would buy Mbappe and that would be it for a while.
Yeah.
I just
I
and Mbappe will want to continue to see that. But yeah, you think about it, like Mbappe, Aubameyang, Sterling.
It's
I,
about
I had
whose
a
deal will be
sorry,
more realistic, though,
Sounds
Mike.
wild.
I had a friend once who bought a very nice new car, but it was so expensive to run. He could only drive it twice a week because he didn't have enough money to fill the petrol tank up with because it guzzled drink like fuel and didn't have the money. That's like Liverpool. They'd buy an Mbappe, but they wouldn't have the money to build a team around him to complement him enough. So yeah, he's not going to Liverpool. He isn't going to City. The only way he goes Man United, legitimately. By the way, I think that the Spanish clubs are the front runners personally. But the question was around where would we go in the EPL. If Man United are in the Champions League, there's a half a chance. But our problem is we're not competing, and to be competing, Arsenal were never gonna, in my opinion, Arsenal were never gonna spend £200 million on a player and pay him £800,000 a week. I don't see Arsenal doing that, so they're a no go. But I do think he could fit in quite well at Arsenal. Like I really do. Like Gabriel Jesus up front, Saka on the left, Mbappe on the right. We know, and he knows how to handle young players. But yeah, I think it'll be
Stop
Chelsea or Man
this.
United. I'm talking footballing sense.
Whose offer will be better? Like,
Man United,
obviously,
Man United are broke. Sorry, Man United are broke by
Hmm.
this scale. But the thing is, with an Mbappe, there's a year to work on this deal. PSG are not going to let him go in January. There are ways through commercial partners to raise the funds for this player because he will generate profits for you individually. You could probably generate enough income from him to at least balance the books, if that makes sense. I think the PSG posted some accounts recently that showed that the signing of Messi, like how much they paid for him, wages, so far they've produced a £10 million profit on having him at the club. So there are ways of, you wouldn't probably make a profit on Mbappe, to be fair, but you might be able to get close to breaking even with the potency of him in the modern day world. But yeah, look, I don't think United will do it either myself, but we need to get the Glazers out, and that ain't happening.
Let me ask everyone this. If you took Liverpool, Mo Salah, you took Spurs, you took Son, or you went to City and you took one of their best players and you swapped it for Mbappe, which fan base would more likely to say no? Would Liverpool fans say no to a swap deal for Mo Salah and Mbappe? Would Spurs fans say no to a swap deal for Son and Mbappe?
None.
I'm just trying to think because
None,
Mbappe's name
none.
has been tarnished slightly.
No one, no fan, no. He gets into every team in the world on that right hand side.
I know, but
I'm swapping Mo
his name is
Salah for
tarnished.
Mbappe in a heartbeat. In a
My point
heartbeat,
is-
it makes complete sense.
My point is
In any
his
sense you want to look
reputation
at
has
it,
been
it's complete.
tarnished. His reputation has been tarnished slightly based on the incidents recently with his teammates and
I
him
would
having
say-
so much power.
I would say he doesn't sound like the type of player that, like, he doesn't seem likable. I'll say that for sure. And we had that conversation around, like, does that matter in when you start talking about the greatest and then we're talking about Holland versus Mbappe? I think those things matter because then at the end of the day, it does kind of become a popularity contest in some regard. But in terms of winning things and him being one of the best players in the world right now, I don't think those things matter to clubs that feel like they can handle those things. And I think the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Real Madrid, these types of teams, I think they'd be all right. I think they'd be all right.
The
I
thing
don't
the English
think
clubs have to understand is there'll be a stepping stone. If Mbappe was to come to England from PSG, you're
Yeah.
not his pinnacle. You're getting him for 3, maybe 4 years, and then you're selling him to Madrid. So if I was looking at it from a Liverpool perspective, I'm getting rid of Salah because I'd be doing a Salah plus however much else they want on top of that for a swap deal. You get Mbappe, who is arguably as good a player, if not better, for as long a contract, and you've got resale value. That's something that these clubs will be considering.
It's an interesting one. Viewers, where do you think would be the best place for a few people saying Bayern Munich? Yeah, they ain't spending that money either. There we go. We put out the next talking point for you guys to vote for. We're going to give you a minute or so to get that in. We're going to do the super chats before that. If you've super chatted about topics we're not speaking about, we'll save them for later. So please remain relaxed. I get a lot of messages again. You've missed the super chat. I'm just saving it for a relevant time. Classic case here. Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba is what Marcy has got to say. It's not about him being a star. He said himself that he wants to play in his favorite position, which is left wing. Oh, we got Rashford, so that's a no-go. And wants a number 9 like Giroud to play with. He said that's why he prefers the France team.
We've got a Uruguayan striker who's fantastic at link up. You know.
Well, maybe Tottenham's the best place for him, and Tottenham he could go to. They've got a proper number 9. Mbappe had a trial at Chelsea before the Monaco move. This is very, very true. Terry, you support Woolwich Arsenal, not Manchester United. Thank you for calling that. Someone said in the comment earlier that Terry's Arsenal's new girlfriend is Terry. That's kind of funny. And Nkunku, Bellingham, Mbappe, imagine that. Do you know what? If Chelsea pulled off those 3 signings, I would have to laugh so hard at all the fools who thought that Roman leaving was going to end Chelsea. It just made me laugh so much. Then I would cry because then I remember that I'm not a Chelsea fan and the pain would set in. Not a lot of people are mentioning Mbappe would want to live in a big city like London, as well as go to a club with Champions League pedigree. Yeah, listen, living in London is important, but if Mbappe cares about the football, the city that you live in shouldn't be that important. Footballers, I know that they've got to have a personal life, but you know, you should be resting, taking care of yourself, and everything else. You know, it's not all about that party life. If I was hiring a player, I need to be in London because I need the nightlife, that would worry me a little bit, just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Be a little bit concerned, Maybe I'm an old man, but I always remember my brother when I was training and competing. If I remember a few times he caught me. I was allowed out. It'd be like 10:30 on a Friday evening. I just had training in the morning, and my brother and his friends would walk past, and I'd see him make eye contact with my group of friends, and he'd walk over, and I'd be like, "Oh, I've got to go home, boys." He's like, "Why?" My brother's going to send me home. He's like, "You got to be home. You got to get." He used to say to me, "You got to keep that edge. And if you're going to bed too late, everyone you're competing against is going to have an edge over you. So get to bed, rest, and be up for training in the morning." All my friends were out there drinking White Lightning and doing whatever. Do you know what I mean? In the parks. And there's me, 14 years old, 15 years old, got to go home. A hard life I had. But I did win some tournaments. So there you go. That's it there. Mbappe, no nights out. Be in bed by 10 o'clock and you'll be a star. You might win something, Mbappe. If Mbappe turned on his boyhood club this quick, how quickly would he turn on any other club? And not Chelsea. I can't read that. Chelsea what?
Chelsea?
It's supposed to be Chelsea because...
Oh, Chelsea because he doesn't want to be a lone striker. Good point there, Will Felix. Good point. Will Flex, sorry, good point. Unpopular opinion, Mbappe isn't a top 10 player. Lee Gunner said this. Lee Gunner the other day said Mbappe isn't that good. He's a tap-in merchant and a pace merchant.
Sounds like someone else.
Isn't that just what people call Erling Haaland?
You can be the top 10 player in the world without being super well-rounded. So if what you have, your skill set is so good that it's better than some of the players that are more well-rounded, then who freaking cares?
Yeah, I do disagree with Leah. I don't really understand it. But we do live in this world now where it's sort of like is Mbappe as good at dribbling as Lionel Messi? No. But that doesn't mean he's not top class. I don't really get it. Because football isn't about being completely... It's not like you're an MMA fighter and you're world-class at wrestling, world-class at jiu-jitsu, world-class at striking. That makes you the best fighter in the world. This is a team sport. As long as you can do your job and you function well in your position, you know, it's an interesting one. As a Chelsea fan, I don't want Mbappe. Bad egg is what Moose Wizard has got to say here. Interesting take. Go on. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The next talking point tonight, my people. Before we do that, I want to say to the audience viewing in, we are sponsored tonight by NordVPN. Please scan the QR code or click on the link. Check out their brilliant offer now, where it's a 2-year plan with huge discounts and 4 months free, courtesy of the Football Terrace. Very important to protect your data. Very important to ensure that you're protecting yourself against hackers that could steal information from you. protect your card details, bank details, etc. online. Also keeps your internet very, very secure and all that jazz, especially when you're out and about and you might be in a mall, or you might be in an airport and you want to use the Wi-Fi there. It secures you and keeps you safe. On top of that, you can get massive discounts by placing your position digitally in another country. And I've found you the best deal ever. We spoke about it at the top of the show, and I'm going to speak about it again now. All your Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, Europa League, MMA, so both Bellator and the brilliant UFC, boxing, F1, and much, much more is available on Setanta Sports in Moldova for $2.99 per month. That's $2.99 per month. It is an absolute steal. All you need to do is get NordVPN downloaded and subscribe, change your IP address location, and you can get all your favorite sports as cheap as chips. So at the end of the show, scan the QR code or click on the links in the description. Start saving money and, of course, protecting your data now. Man United versus Newcastle. What are you saying, Kaz, me old mate? That's the next talking point that's been voted in. Man United versus Newcastle. What are you saying?
It's got to be a hard one, isn't it? Let's face it, they're gonna press. Yeah, pause. But yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a difficult game, man. They're gonna press us, and that's something that worries me. Teams that do press us, if we're gonna make mistakes. But at the same time, I've seen Man United come out of a press quite well. But we got still a few mistakes at United. I don't know. Obviously, I know Isak's injured and everything, but I think the low is just so average, man. Like, I've been so consistent with it, and St. Maximin's up against him next, and that worries me so much. I think it was last time St. Maximin done up the low, and he scored, and I just got PTSD from that. But we got quality players to go at Old Trafford and do something. It's old as well, so I'm gonna back my team. I still think we're gonna actually win 1-0. Weird, I don't know why 1-0 was in my head. I think it could be kind of a boring game. Again, Newcastle is suspect to getting counted, but it just depends on Bruno Gomes. As long as you can close that man down somehow, right? Stick somebody on him, then Newcastle will be disjointed. Then they're gonna have to start pinging out to this man like Almiron, who I don't care about. I'm pretty sure our left backs will do something, but you have to give respect to Newcastle, what they're doing. They're literally a point behind us. I'm sure they're going to be up for this game. They're kind of known to take it to like other teams such as City, such as Liverpool, where they should have got a result. So it's not gonna be easy. But I heard St. Maximin is fit to play, not injured. Don't know what you guys are on about. Well, I don't know about you guys, but it's gonna be a difficult one, man. I'm not.
I agree. I think it's going to be a difficult one for you guys. I think you guys are going to drop points in this game. I don't know if you're going to lose, but I definitely think you're going to drop points in this game. I don't see you guys winning this game. I think Newcastle are a really good team right now. Very underestimated how good they've been performing. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised even if they got into Europe. But the main reason why I think they're going to be able to take some points off you is because I've seen some of the ways that they've been scoring their goals from set pieces, how Bruno Gomes and some of these guys have been playing. And I just think they'll be able to get at you guys from either a set piece or from a through ball or just popping up a long shot from distance. Those are the ways that they've been scoring a lot of their goals this season. And I don't know how you guys are going to defend against that, but let's just see, because your defense, you guys are good when you're playing against teams that are trying to walk the ball into the back of the net or trying to score. But these guys are very unpredictable. And going up against a very unpredictable Newcastle team, I think it's a very different proposition from what you guys have faced over the last couple of weeks.
The one thing about Newcastle that actually scares me is the fact that they have no fear, whatsoever. They don't care where they're going, who they're playing against. They go out and they play their way. Eddie Howe has done an amazing job with that team, and I think they'll go to Old Trafford and feel like they can get something. One of the things that really stands out about them is how big they are. That back line, some of their players, very big, very aggressive, and this would be a big test for your center backs. I know that there's been a lot of excitement around Lisandro Martinez and the players that you guys have back there, but this team can hurt you on corners, set pieces, things like that, especially with players like Trippier and stuff being able to put the ball in, in good areas. But I still think Man United have enough quality where you guys should feel confident that you could get that you can win the game. Like, Newcastle are good, but you have so much quality, and it'll be interesting to see how you guys deal with Bruno. Bruno is just a player. I called it. I still think that was a miss for Arsenal. and he should be playing for top 4 team. He's going to show that quality, and you guys have to shut him down. He's no joke. So I'm thinking it's going to be a draw-ish. But if you think you're going to keep them out, you have another thing coming because they scored 9 goals in the last 2 games. This team scores goals. It ain't going to be, you're not getting a clean sheet.
I
You'll
think
give at least
Casemiro
1
could be the
goal.
real difference today. I mean, Sunday, I think Casemiro can definitely be the difference if he decides to, he's looking more sharp, looks like he's up for games, looking like he's actually fit. And if there's someone that I wouldn't be scared about is Joe Linton, but you stop his strides, that stops a lot of Newcastle's attacks when it goes down that left-hand side. I don't know if St. Maximin will start the game because he's just come back and everything, but he'll come off that bench. So we need to take the lead as early as possible. If we do that, we win the game.
He'll be fine.
You know-
He'll be fine.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I don't know about that. I don't know about the whole "we'll be fine" thing because Newcastle are
No, Newcastle are a good team. They'll cause problems. They're always going to. But I think you're at home.
But yeah, look, we are at home, and I think that's part of it. So I'm confident going into this game. I know we can win, but Arsenal, you boys and ladies were a little bit like, oh, but PTSD, we're worried. This is a game to be more concerned about because Newcastle are actually very good. The size of the team, as you've mentioned, the football that they play, they can counter with such speed. And I have read as well that St. Maximin is fit, and that's a worry because I'm a bit like you, Kaz. The low thing, I think some people are over egging how good he's been. I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been a top class right back this season. I want to say that he hasn't, obviously, otherwise he'd have been banned, but I feel like he gets booked in every game that he plays in. And that's a concern. But this is going to be about us being clinical because we dominated proceedings against Everton in the first half, got the goals we needed. Of course, we conceded that the goal from Iwobi. Second half, we lost ourselves a bit. Last night, I know it's a much lesser opponent, but we dominated proceedings. We just couldn't score. We have to be clinical when we get our chances. What I will say as well, though, is this is the first home Premier League game in a month. Like, United haven't been at home for a while, and a lot of our wins in this good run of form in the Premier League have all been, nearly all of them have been away from home, barring the Arsenal game and so our last 2 games at Old Trafford were Arsenal and Liverpool, and we beat them. So if we can beat Arsenal and Liverpool at home, of course we can beat Newcastle. Gomeres has to be stopped by Casemiro. Casemiro will play as long as he's fit because Scott McTominay's out, so that changes that. It will probably also be Christian Eriksen that's next to him. He was rested. I didn't think Fred was particularly good last night in the Europa League either. I thought it was okay, not particularly great. Eriksen will come in. That's going to be a tough midfield battle. It's then what to do on the attacking front for us. But we've got a good chance. There's no doubt we haven't got a good chance. United have got a really hard run of games as well. We play Newcastle, followed by Tottenham, followed by Chelsea. We've got West Ham on the horizon. Like, our run of games between now and the World Cup, it's hard. It's really tough. Equally, though, I'm excited about that. If you come through that with a good amount of points, you then know you've got a really good run of more simplistic games when everybody else is playing each other and dropping points. So, yeah, look, it's going to be a hard next 4 or 5 weeks, but I'm excited.
Who do you think is going to be striker? I know Martial's back and he'll be on the bench, so that's good.
Martial's back, is
back. Yeah, pretty much. He's pretty much said he's got a good chance to play against Newcastle. It was a minor back injury. It was probably just a minor one. So that's good news. But I wouldn't rush that whatsoever. But who do you start? Do you start Rashford or do you start Ronaldo?
I start.
Put a little... Oh, go ahead, Terrace.
Let me answer that question, then we'll come to you. Sorry, Jess. Yeah, I would go with Rashford through the middle, Sancho on the left. I think Sancho came on and proved the point. I'm sorry I didn't run in the previous game.
If you can't outrun Trippier, I'll be so disappointed.
Yeah, well,
to be honest.
So I would have Sancho left, Anthony right, Rashford through the middle. I think you bring Ronaldo on against tired legs later in the game because Ronaldo is still looking old. He's still looking old. He hasn't shaken it off yet. So yeah, I would go with that front three personally.
The one thing I will say is, like, I like games where it's like a battle of styles. And I think because Newcastle are kind of like a really good counterattacking side, and so are you guys, that's going to be the interesting part, is like if they want to sit in a low block, which I feel like they may, and make you guys come onto them, you have to have your best ballers out there. You have to have your best footballing team out there. And so it's going to be super, super interesting. But yeah, I like it because Liverpool and Arsenal wanted to dominate the game. They want to dominate possession.
It's one down that right-hand side of the pitch. So St. Maximin, whenever he comes on, that's if he doesn't start, up against Dallo, and Anthony up against Dan Burn. This is all about the styles that you mentioned. Dan Burn's a fantastic defender. But if you've got Eriksen on the pitch, your game plan should just be constantly forcing that ball down Anthony's side, trying to get it in behind Dan Burn. Because as good as Dan Burn is when like you're going at him, if you get behind him, he's not quick. And Anthony's shown that he's quite quick. I think that side of the pitch is where this game will be won or lost for either side.
But they're not
Whoever
going to sit on the
wins their
halfway
battles-
line. I think that's
I would
the
start Luke Shaw in
the
this
one
game
thing
as
is-
well. I'll be honest.
they're not going to
Looks
sit
better.
on the
Yeah,
halfway
they're
line.
not. That's yeah. I would start. Sorry, I would start with Luke Shaw as well. But equally, that's where United have got to be clinical and get that early goal. You need Newcastle to have to push up, and that's kind of like last night's game in a sense. They didn't counter attack though very much, but they just sat deep. And every time that I'm going to keep calling their keeper Hayes because he definitely looks like Hayes from Top Boy.
Respect Sugar.
Do you know what I mean? I was actually watching it today, but yeah, I feel like we have to score. We have to score early, and then you draw them out, and then the more the more we draw them out, the more chance we've got of getting in behind. But look, we just got to be mindful. Look, we can beat them, and this is funnily enough, like I haven't been scared of Newcastle coming to Old Trafford since the 90s, and I'm talking about when they were legitimately the second best team in the league for 2 or 3 year period. But I am a little worried and concerned about them. But it's going to be interesting to see the reaction should we win this, because it'll be United. Old Trafford has not been a fortress for about 10 years now, or it feels that way to me. Teams have fancied themselves here for a decade, and that is something that Ten Hag has got to develop and create. This sense of going to Old Trafford is a hard place to come, and the crowd are going to play a big part, and I'm sure there'll be a big noise. I'll put aside whether I think fans should be in the ground or not from a Glazer point of view. But if you're in the ground, make a goddamn noise, help the team win. You might as well if you're there, and get it done. But yeah, look, I'm going to predict though, and I am going to go over Man United win. I'm going to go with 2-1 to Manchester United in this game, and I'm also going to go for 4-4 for Anthony in the Premier League. I think he'll be important in this game as well. Your prediction,
I had
Jess?
Sancho.
I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the exact same thing, 2-2 draw. But watch out for Amran. He's gonna bag it. I'm telling you,
Amran is shit.
Ain't this shit, man. Fuck that, man. Get out of here, the gal, man. Get out of here, boy.
He's been on good form lately, and when he
So
scores,
was Everton, man. So was
when he
Everton. And look what happened,
when he
bro.
scores versus United, I'm gonna clip this up and I'm gonna tag you. Don't worry.
Don't worry, there's enough clips. You go.
What you saying, Thomas?
3-1 United.
3-1 United. And
I
Kaz?
like that one, Tom. I'm gonna stick by 1-0. I honestly think he's got. I don't know why I just keep thinking. No, I think Sancho again proven. I just think he's gonna get in behind Trippier. He's just gonna get one a dodgy goal or something like that, and then we're just gonna sit back a little bit, get deeper, further as the minutes go on. Sit further back, deeper, and deeper, and then it's just a game. I think it's gonna be a boring tactical game. That's just in my head. It's because it's at Old Trafford as well. Like I just go back to the games against Arsenal and Liverpool, obviously, because that's what I have to reference. It will be tough for them, but it'll be tough for us. That's it.
Yeah, most definitely. We have a super chat here that says, I think it means question for the Arsenal fans. You have to face Spurs, City, Paul, and Newcastle away in the second half of the season. You think you can beat any of them away? Arsenal's second half fixtures are very tricky compared to other top four.
I will say that, yeah, it is going to be difficult to face those teams away from home. That's why it was so important to beat Liverpool at home, and why we have to get something from City at home as well. I don't expect to beat City and Liverpool at their place. I expect us to get something. Yeah, those are difficult. Yeah.
I think it's too early to be looking that far ahead and saying
Yes. Yeah.
anything is difficult or easy, because you don't know the stage of the two teams.
You have to wait. Injuries, form people are in, and everything else.
Yeah.
I want to just say very quickly, this is not football related, but very much an RIP to Robbie Coltrane, aka Cracker, aka Hagrid from Harry Potter, who has sadly passed away today at the age of 72. Phenomenal UK actor. Ever before he was in Harry Potter, but yeah, it's another one. There's so many people from the cast of Harry Potter that are gone now. It's crazy, actually. I was reading an article the other day. Even a lot of the young ones, loads of them. It's a madness. Up next, though, people, it's the big one. The big one this weekend. Could this be the end of Liverpool's season? And when I say Liverpool season, I'm talking Premier League and title challenge, because title challenging is all that Liverpool care about. they could be 17 points off of the top of the league. They could be 10 points off of top 4 by the end of the weekend. Is this the end? Will City smash Liverpool? Will City end Liverpool season? What are we saying?
We got some
Hopefully.
lovely news that Konate didn't train today, so Konate is out for the game. So we're either I'm having two nightmares. I'm either having Nat Phillips up against Erling Haaland as a direct matchup, or Phil Foden up against James Milner for the second year running. So either is it the end for our title hopes? I think they're gone already. Our manager said it. They're gone. We're not making up this bigger gap on a City team that aren't making the same mistakes they were last year, that allowed us to make up that gap. So the title race is done. It's just about us trying to get top 4 at this point, and 10 points would be bad. It would be a really tough thing to overcome, but I'm already tuned out of this game. I'm expecting a loss. I can't exactly sit here and say I'm not. We've got a defence that's conceding to anyone and everyone that decides they want to attack us. A midfield that for half an hour against Rangers was ran rings round. And at least our attack's good. We might score a couple of goals. It might be like another 6-3. We might get a 6-3 on our hand or something. But Van Dijk's record of 5 years, that's gone. That's going on Sunday. Bye-bye, Virgil, and that record.
Bye-bye, Liverpool.
It is ropes. It is ropes, especially if Konate is not here, because he was our best defender against Rangers. And I don't want to see Nat Phillips try and mark Haaland.
You know what?
Beautiful, isn't it, Tom?
No.
It might actually benefit Liverpool dropping out of the Champions League, because they might, in the case that they don't get top 4, they'll have another way of getting into Champions League football by winning the Europa League. That's all, because I really do think they're going to struggle into getting back into a Champions League position if they lose this game versus Man City. And they're already how many points away from Arsenal? What is it, 14 points right now, away from first place? It's going to get to a point where it's just uncircumstantial. Sorry, I don't even know the words to use in this situation. It's just going to get to a point where it's ridiculous to try to see a team make up that many points. I know it's still early in the season. I know it's only a couple games in, but 10 games into the season is when we start looking at the league table and saying, you know what, this is what it's actually going to look like come the end of the season. And at what point are we going to start saying, you know what, Liverpool are no longer in a title race, no longer in a top 4 battle, but they're going to be struggling for that top 4 battle.
Yeah,
I think the issue with Liverpool.
Love the way you
that
put that, girl. Yes,
they-
just please, music.
Well,
Thank you.
Liverpool are one of those teams that have a really good track record of coming out of nowhere with long run, some really good runs. They're one of those teams, and there's some people that are still out there that are a little bit afraid to write them off, because they can always put together these runs, It's really just the mounting injuries, and it doesn't seem like they're in the same mental space that they've been in the last couple of years. And so they're definitely, for me, obviously, and Tom's already said it, out of the title race. It's just a matter of if they can cut it down to get into the top 4, which they're still mathematically, people are still saying it's statistically still a top 4 team, but that back line is looking, and that high line against Haaland, they don't need to walk the ball into the back of the net anymore, City. They can just kick it and let him run, and he's a freak. So I just don't see, Liverpool have to win this game to turn their season around, I think, to get that spark. If they don't do it, I think that's it.
You're right. And I think on top of that, what's really key is you look at their upcoming fixtures between now and the World Cup. West Ham at home, Forest away, they'll win. Okay, they've got Leeds at home, they'll win. They've got to go away to Tottenham and at home to Southampton. So they've got West Ham, they've got Southampton, and they've got Tottenham. They're 3 really difficult games after this weekend. So they've got 4 of the next 6 games are difficult. But every drop point, if the pack ahead of them are moving away from them, the pressure rises. This isn't the same Liverpool team of a couple of years ago. All those players are older by 2 years. When they had that bad run with all the injuries and they won their last 10 games, this team is 2 years older. This team doesn't have Mane. this team for the next, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, is not going to have Luis Diaz. He was the spark last year that brought you back into life. Okay, so they're gone. They're out the way. Van Dijk's looking older. Trent is out, but also the worse he has been looking. Fabinho is 2 years older. The whole team is not of 2 years ago. If Liverpool lose this weekend, they are going to struggle to make the top 4 because Chelsea are going to keep getting better and better. Spurs are a guarantee for top 4. Arsenal are a guarantee for top 4. City are a guarantee for top 4. To be 10 points behind an ever-improving Chelsea team, I just cannot see them bringing it back if they lose this weekend. It's going to be very, very difficult indeed for Liverpool. And it leads me on to my next question for you all. Are we beginning to see the end of Jurgen Klopp's reign as Liverpool manager? And could a big gap between him and the top 4, him and the top of the league, be almost the straw that breaks the camel's back? Or are we being a little bit hyperbolic? Are we being a little bit over the top with that? What are we saying?
You're just speaking the truth, Terry. Go on, Jess.
I think it's too early. I think Liverpool will stick with him for a while. Like, he may be done, but Liverpool will stick with him because he's their guy. And I'm sorry, I see shades of Arsenal. I do. I see shades of Arsenal because this happened with Arsenal like twice. Once in like 2006, where it was like, we're not really rebuilding the team. What we doing? What was, and he kind of kept it together. Then in 2015, when we should have got rid of him then. And I see that because teams get locked into this one guy and they're like, well, maybe we can rebuild. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do that. When really it's just finished. And so I see him staying longer and then they'll let it get way worse, even though they probably should have moved on, But I don't think it's this season. I think next season is a season where we'll see.
They got a lot to do, though, man. They got a lot to do. Virgil aging, Matip aging, Salah aging, Thiago aging, Milner, Henderson age. Oh my God, the list is endless. I don't think your recruitment's been that great either. You know, it is FSG are the new Glazers, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this now, like, it's beautiful because you know what, we've had it for a long time. I was gonna say I feel sorry for you, Tom. You look like you're about to throw up in a bag. You want to get you a McDonald's kiddie bag?
I disagree on the future. The thing is, though, like,
beautiful.
Has our recruitment been as good as it used to be? No. Because that's just because we've gotten better to the point where teams are now. Let's say we rocked up to Roma and asked for someone for £20 million. They're not giving us him for £20 million. They're sitting there going, why do you want him? Right, that's 30, that's 35, because you've seen something. Our recruitment and our squad planning for the future is
fine. That's the same for everyone, bro.
Bye-bye.
In what way is it the same for everyone?
No. That's the same for everyone. Manchester United rock up to Roma, same thing. Arsenal rock up to Roma, same thing.
So EGAL, if we dropped up to Man City in the summer, hold on. If we dropped up to Man City in the summer, and asked for Jesus, are we getting him for 45 million?
No, you're not getting Jesus because they viewed you as a direct competitor at the time. They wouldn't sell him to you.
That's beautiful. I guess what?
You guys can't moneyball it anymore.
It's gonna
That's
get.
it. You guys can't moneyball it anymore.
It's gonna get. 1 second, Tommy. Let me just nail home my point. Your whole excuse about Liverpool are now good and going places, they're gonna charge us more. They charge everybody in the Premier League more for players, and especially the top 6. So I don't want to hear about that excuse. Liverpool have money. Liverpool have made some of the most revenues out of every single club in the top 6 over this last couple of years. Klopp has money. Your team has money. You guys can afford to buy players. You've chosen not to replenish your squad. You've chosen not to make it to a situation where you've left yourself with too much work to get done in one window where you cannot do it. That's your own fault. And now you're trying to say other things, external factors are causing these issues. No, it's your own recruitment.
Tom, answer me this after this.
Own people, and nothing is different from your situation and everybody else in the whole Premier League.
I heard there was a thing on Twitter that FSG might be looking to actually sell Liverpool. They bought them for a little bit of money and now they can flog them for a few billion. That's brilliant business. But hopefully it doesn't happen because, as I said, Klopp's like Fergie.
They're not going to sell because we've got the stand going.
It's beautiful though, Tom, man, because you're going to have another 30-year cycle of not winning nothing.
We're not talking about we're not talking about FSG though. We're talking about Klopp. You know, I think Terry asked a question about is Klopp done? And I feel like that's the whole like thing about Liverpool in general. Whenever you talk about Liverpool, players getting old, FSG is not spending money, blah 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 blah. But like, nobody's really looking at Klopp and whether or not he's part of the problem. He probably is,
He's untouchable.
but I think they're gonna stick with him too long. Like, I think
We've
that's what
got-
it's
we've
gonna
got
be.
too
He's
many
already
issues.
looking crazy. The man is staring off into space. Tom, you were there. You saw him on that big screen
That's
staring off
become a
into
regular
space.
occurrence now.
Okay?
This is just like leaving.
Losing it.
This is just like leaving the old man to go do what he does. Just let him do what he needs to do.
Terry,
There's too
I'm
many
just
issues
gonna
at this
answer the
club. though.
question by saying
There's
this.
too many.
There's going to be Liverpool fans who will give him until the end of his contract, and they're not going to ever want him out. That's the reality. And there's going to be people who are going to say, you know what, maybe he needs to leave a year early. But regardless, because he has the credit in the bank, won them a league, won them a Champions League, certain set of fans will never want him out until he walks out himself.
Yeah, you need a refresh, man.
Yeah,
It's just bait
I
now,
get
man.
that. Look, I've said before, I don't believe he needs to go now. I don't. I just feel like it. He has no track record of rebuilding. I don't know. Just looking at it from the outside, in the way he had to go at Didi Hamann, and then had to go at the journalist asking that, it was so weird. The whole like Didi Hamann's the bad source. The way he was telling Liverpool fans that no one, unless you've got a direct source to the dressing room, should have an opinion, is a red flag. It's a red flag when managers start attacking pundits and fans for having opinions on what they see. It's a problem. And yes, you went and beat Rangers by an obscene score in the end, but you battered them the week before and then were completely outclassed by Arsenal. And as much as there will be some, and there's always a percentage of Liverpool fans, same as at every club, that will stand by a manager until he's metaphorical dying day. More and more are going to turn. And if Liverpool get a beat down this weekend, and I'm talking if they at Anfield concede 3 or 4 goals and they get hurt, more and more are going to turn on him. Now, the Liverpool faithful, a lot of them won't do it publicly. You've seen the way the likes of JJ, you know, the likes of Hussam and others, yourself, Tom, have been ridiculed and attacked by a lot of Reds online for not towing the party line, for not saying what is expected, for not doing what Jurgen Klopp said around, well, unless you've got a direct source to the dressing room, your opinion counts for absolutely nothing. And I would love to see, if you Liverpool fans do, is question Klopp and say, well, we share the same opinion as some man. We think we've lost a spark. What have you got to say to us? Because it's quite easy to attack a journalist or a pundit, because people kind of look at them as outside the ring, the ring fence of being a fan. But who the hell? I don't care that he's your manager. He should not be saying that fans and people can't have opinions. Otherwise, what's the point of being a fan? Half your job as a fan is to support. The other half is to give opinions and to, you know, to put pressure on the club in certain places and celebrate it in others. And I keep saying this to people: blind support is not support. Same as with the children. Blind love is not love. Sometimes you've got to show tough love. Sometimes you've got to show criticism. Sometimes you've got to be hard-faced. Sometimes you've got to be a little bit cruel to be kind. And I think Liverpool fans are making, some Liverpool fans, let me rephrase, are making the situation at Liverpool worse by ignoring things. You know that meme of the guy sitting in the house that's burning down saying there's nothing to see here? That's how it feels a little bit. And you see it after every defeat. You see a few more red pilled, a few more red pilled, a few more red pilled. And that will build up eventually. It did that with Arsenal. I bet if you go back to a certain time and point, if you would have said Wenger out outside the stadium, everybody would have been, screw you. You know, and then eventually it got to a point where I would say 95% of people were like, he's got to go now. And it slowly built over time. And vice versa. You're also going to see a lot of Arsenal fans now start to be like, oh, actually, I think Arteta was always the right guy. Like, we've got one person on this panel right now who was Arteta out for a long time, who then changed his mind, didn't you, EGAL? You know, as things started to improve.
I think Klopp's allowed. I think Klopp's allowed till end of the season. I think January
Easy.
you probably will spend.
He's end of the season.
Two signings can change the whole dynamic of that team. The thing is, you're gonna have to either pick: is it Klopp and the team's fault, or is it FSG's fault? Not 50. Yeah, maybe a bit of both. But I just reckon a few signings gets Klopp's re. I think if it was me and my manager won me all of that, He's allowed to end of the season. If I'm seeing that player's not running for him, someone
End
has done
of the
it.
season,
Get rid of
he
him.
has end of the season and then another
Yeah,
season.
he
This
does.
is nowhere
He's
near
got
out.
Time. But this is where Liverpool fans are annoying me. They should be backing their manager by putting pressure on
100%.
SSG to give him
Keep
what he needs.
backing him,
If
Klopp
they
in.
go out, the thing is, if they go out and buy 3 or 4 players of a very good age who are top class, and then the needle doesn't move, then maybe the manager has lost his mojo at this moment in time. Not forever. Just maybe he's just come to the end of his time as manager. If you, sorry, Tom. But if you don't give Klopp the players, he's just treading water, and it isn't fair on him. Jurgen Klopp deserves to be fully backed, and that isn't. Oh, he was given. Mo Salah got a new deal, and this and that. You've got to replace Mane. To replace Mane, pound for pound, you have to spend 60, 70, 80 million plus. To replace the aging players like the Fabinos, maybe Van Dijk's getting past his best now after that knee injury. It's hundreds of millions to replace them all. Unless they do that for Jurgen Klopp, they won't compete with City. They won't compete with Arsenal. They won't compete with Chelsea, because doing the money ball approach, I think it works once. And then after that, everybody says, now we want more money. Plus, there isn't the time to wait 3 or 4 years. You ain't got to wait 3 or 4 years, because Klopp ain't got 3 or 4 years to create another team that's ain't brilliant for 3 or 4. It'll be done by then. It's got to be done now, or they're throwing Jurgen Klopp under a bus.
There's certain things that we can take out of this now, though. Like, there is pressure on Klopp. There's always going to be pressure on Klopp. He's the first person that the media will turn to when it's not going right. But if I was to look at this from Klopp's perspective, he's actually done what we criticised him for. He's changed. He's actually made a concerted effort to change it just late. He said we were on about midfielders. He said he wants the midfielder too late. We were on about the tactics. The 4-3-3 doesn't work. He's now changed it just a bit too late. A little bit too late. We were seeing this coming 3 or 4 games beforehand. The issue is that there's so many factors coming into it. The squad, I don't think a lot of players have now started to decline at a rate much faster than the stats expected. This club will have pre-planned our recruitment for 5 years in the future based off of what they predict will happen. I'll tell you right now, I did not predict Fabinho to start running like he's a 45-year-old man. I did not predict Trent Alexander-Arnold to forget the few principles he had of defending. I did not expect Virgil van Dijk to lose everything he had in terms of his, let's say, aura, for lack of a better word, like that, to the point where teams are now running at him and everything. A lot of our decline has come out of nowhere, sort of thing, and that's what's caught us out. So there has to be a substantial investment next summer. There has to be, because it's a buyer's market. It's a buyer's market.
That you got the World Cup coming up. I feel like you're lucky that the World Cup's actually coming up where it was, because now your transfer team can actually have this tie-in to go and recruit. Look, in 2 simple ways, I think you're away. It's just 2 midfielders. I don't know where this your backup right back is at all. His name Callum Callum Ramsey.
He got injured. He failed his medical, but we still signed him. He got
injured.
Thursday, Conrad Lima, and now he's back injured again.
Conrad Lima, one of the best pressers, will suit somebody like Tottenham. I mean, Liverpool, and it would also suit the way Klopp plays. As a presser, one of the best in Europe as it goes. He's a cheap fix. Barella is another one that Inter Milan actually need to raise funds. They need to sell somebody, and actually maybe a couple somebodies. And at this rate, they're going to need to. In January, you might need to fork out another 20 million, 65 million. Go get, but that's quality now on top of everything. That's 2 quick fixes for me, anyways.
Yeah. Aside from everything going wrong with Liverpool, which we know how good City are, this game, though, let's actually get into the game, talk a bit of football. Who is there a case for Liverpool? Because can anybody, because I want to hear it first, does anybody think Liverpool are going to win?
I don't think we will, but I think we can.
How do you beat this City team then? What do you have to do?
Pray to God that we score more goals on them.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but how do you do that? Come on.
How we done the 4-3 years ago, where we literally just went, we're going to pray to God that you miss chances, and we're going to throw all our best attackers on the pitch, and we're just going to try and blitz you, because we cannot match the City team for control. That was how we were trying to do it since 18-19. They'd have spells of control in the game. We'd have spells of control in the game. That was how it was. Now, we can't control the game against bloody Fulham, let alone City. So we're just going to have to go back to the old ways of chucking 4 attackers on the pitch and praying to God that one of them will have a blinder of a game and drag the rest through. But that's the only way I can see it happening. And it's a very unlikely outcome.
your defense needs to get a hold of the game as well, to be honest, and be more confident. You got Virgil van Dijk at the back, and you still got Fabinho. I think Robertson's actually back for this game as well. I don't know if he's obviously match fit, but other than that, it's at Anfield, bro. Like the easiest excuse to throw out there is football. Anything can happen, but at the same time, City are City, bro. Haaland's Haaland. Foden is on smoke as well. It's looking kind of bleak, my friend, and I'm loving
I
it.
think the fact that City don't have to walk it into the net anymore makes me look at that high line like that thing is looking so scary, because I could just see Holland running straight through. Like, I really, really can. But that being said, City, I know that this may sound crazy considering how good they've been, but I don't think they've been 100% in their back line either. I don't. I think teams like Newcastle have been able to do a little something. Not a lot, because City don't leave you a lot. They don't leave you a lot, but they're leaving a little bit more this season, I think, than usual. So if you can get those attackers going, I think Firmino is so good for you guys right now. I think he can be somebody that really, adds that quality. Salah looks like he's coming back into a little bit of form. It's not going to be City 6, Liverpool 0, but yeah, I think it's going to be kind of weirdly open in a way.
Rule out City scoring loads though, especially with the injuries that we've got.
I just want to
But
say
I think
this.
you guys can almost score whenever you want to. Your attack is still super potent. I think it's going to be a high scoring match.
I disagree.
I do.
I think it will be high scoring, but it will be extremely one-sided. I think this is going to be a demoralizing loss for Liverpool. Demoralizing.
Yo.
Listen to what I'm about to say. They are going to play the same system they played against Arsenal, against Rangers, where they're going to have two midfielders and they're going to have some of their guys dropping in. We know Man City. They suffocate people when they lose the ball, and when they have the ball, they hold on to it. This is going to be a game where City outpossess you guys. They hold on to the ball, and it's going to be something like what happened to Manchester United a couple years ago. They're going to come to your house. They're going to hold on to the ball the whole entire game. You're going to get one or two chances, and at the end of the night, when the game is done and they've won the game 3-0, and you guys can only count on one hand how many chances you've actually created, you're going to see that midfield two is not going to work against the City team.
You have got some positives going into the game, though.
Can't we get at them, though, in the same breath?
The only way I can see you guys getting at them is if you quickly counter using one of the wings. But without Trent being there and Robertson being there, will Gomez and Tsimikas be able to?
Robertson is there though. Robertson's fit.
Is Robertson fit? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I said it. No, you got Nunes.
Nunes
looks like he's a player at the moment.
The midfield battle is going to be completely on City's side, and they're going to absolutely outpossess
it always is. You're saying stuff that I expected last season. They're always going to dominate possession against us. But if we can dominate possession against 18 of 19 teams, it's City that cause you the problems. I'm expecting to lose the possession battle, but I think we can get at them. I think their defence you can cause their defence problems, especially with they don't have Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker used to cause us loads of problems. You should
but they got Cancelo, and don't underrate Nathan Ake either to play left back.
I'm not underrating Nathan Ake. I'm not underrating their defenders. I'm bigging up ours. I know he's rated as a flop and everything. Our attack is actually quite informed at the minute. Salah got a hat-trick in his last game. Jota got a hat-trick of assists, all for Salah. Firmino's our most informed player, and Nunes has 2 and 2. So our attack is actually quite informed at the minute.
I am not talking about the team being bad. I'm saying the way you guys are set up, you are going to play into their hands, in the sense that if you find a situation where you have Phil Foden on one wing, Cancelo on another wing, and overloading on that side, you're going to struggle. If they add one, even if they bring in one more body just to link up with them, that's what Arsenal did.
So, in the last game. You haven't watched Liverpool this season. It's either we play 4-4-2 and actually cause them problems on the attack, or play 4-3-3.
Do you not have another midfielder? Do you not have
exactly? So we have to play 4-4-2. There is nothing else we can do. You're making it out like there's something else we can do. We have to play 4-4-2.
I genuinely believe you.
In this day and age, 4-4-2, Sean Dyche football. Fuck that.
You're going to be extremely demoralized after this game when you have no possession and this team comes to your house.
It can't get much lower than it is now. It can't get much. how much lower can the demoralization get? We can't play
Listen,
4-3-3.
that's what we thought. That's what we thought. But remember the Manchester United game just last year, or was it the year before that, where they came to Old Trafford and they literally just held onto the ball for like 80% of the time. And Manchester United came out of that game and they're like, we didn't even touch anything. We didn't even have a chance. That's what I'm expecting based on your performances this season, based on what they've done. And let's be real, Liverpool don't have an absolute opportunity to do anything in this game. They're gonna absolutely get smoked.
Right.
Otherwise,
Yeah. Okay. So how did Newcastle get 3 against them?
bro,
How did
you're not
United get 3 against them?
You're Liverpool.
If City, this
You're
fantastic
Liverpool.
team that give you no opportunity to do anything against them, how they
Listen,
conceded so many goals this
you just
season?
you just told me you don't have another midfielder to put in that situation. You
That's not
tactically have
the
nothing.
point.
You have no plan B. You have no plan B. You have no plan B to try to win this game.
What relevance does that have to do with our attack scoring goals? What
It's
relevance
about the
does?
midfield. What are you going to do with the midfield?
Oh
You
my
have
God,
no
we don't use the
solution.
midfield. EGAL, we don't use the midfield anyway.
Okay,
don't
you
use
use
it.
the wings. You use the wings. You have your B team. You have Gomez as your right back right now.
Mhm.
Yes, it's going to help you defensively, but is he going to be an attacking option? Is he going to create anything for you like a Trent does? No. On the other side is Robertson's fit. He's just coming back. Okay, let's be real. These guys are going to outpossess you guys. They're going to control the game in many different areas. And when it comes to the final third, what are you guys going to do? What are you guys going to do? How are you guys going to?
Can I interject here? Like, I do think that I get why Tom is a little bit frustrated just because Liverpool against Arsenal, their main like point of attack was kicking the ball over the top. They want to kick it into the channels and run in behind. They're not really going to be trying to ticky-tack through the midfield. Like, that's not really what their vibe is going to be. They're going to be trying to pop it over the top. The issue that Liverpool have is that their defense is leaky and Man City have a cyborg up front. Now, if Pep is smart, he'll do exactly what he did against Manchester United and play a Kanji, an Ake, play a taller, stronger, faster back line, and that'll stop all that kicking it over the top into the channels because you guys are not going to do midfield. Like, you're literally not going to do midfield. We know that based on what you guys did against us. You're not going to do it.
We're not going to try and play.
You can't play 4-2-4 the way we did it. Did you not learn from that game? Bruno Fernandes tried to do the 2 up top strikers, like press their back line and try to get them, leave 2 in the midfield, which left who was it? Was it McTominay and Ericsson got overloaded? Did you not learn from that, bro? You're not going to do that with Fabinho and Thiago.
Cash, I get that. I get that we will get overloaded.
You're going to lose, my friend. You're going to get smacked up. I'll tell you that now, bro.
We play 4-4-2 and have a chance at matching them with the scoring output, or play a 4-3-3, which has been battered by Fulham, battered by Brighton, battered by Palace, and expect it to do something in terms of controlling the game against City. It's not going to do that. So we just have to try and outscore them. That's the only thing we can do. That's the only thing we can do.
Listen, maybe people can agree or disagree with the Gal's view on how the game's going to go. I've got my preview coming out tomorrow, so I'm revealing absolutely nothing about what I think and feel. Although, because that would be, that's a bad, don't ruin it. And I'm not going to, I saw that once. It was a great film called What Lies Beneath. But if you watch the film and then rewatch the trailer actually gives the end of the film away. It's actually mental. No one would do that. But
you know what's sad, though?
From my point of view, I just want to say this. Like, Liverpool have got so much to do, so much hard work to do in this game, though, because I can't remember a game against a good opponent this season or any opponent really this year. And maybe if I go back and look at all these sort of fixtures, I could find one. But even when you won 7-1 like at Ibrox, the chances Rangers created, if Haaland's on the end of them, you are 4-0 down before you start scoring them goals in the second half. You look back to the Arsenal, Haaland would have put you to the sword a lot sooner as an example. What Brighton did to you. Ajax had chances. Napoli smashed you. Put Haaland, Foden, and KDB into that Everton team, they win. Newcastle game was close. Man United beat you. Bournemouth's been the only game, when you actually look back at it, Bournemouth have been the only game this year where you've actually dominated for the 90 minutes. So it's going to be a real interesting one for me to see what direction, how this game ends up. I think you'll score, by the way, because we scored 3 against City and they put 6 past us. There's definitely goals in the game, but to outscore Man City, bruv, that's like me trying to out-dunk Shaquille O'Neal.
Listen,
not happening.
I'm not that tall.
I'm just disappointed in Tom. I felt like he was going to say something tactically that they could change or anything, but I just feel like you have no
What
solution.
do you want me to
Not
say?
the manager.
What do you want me to say?
I
Say football manager.
One second, one second.
You're like Jürgen
One
laddie. Oh,
second,
here's the
one
tactical
second.
evolution for we should do
Yo,
here.
I don't know what's so funny.
What do you
I don't know what's so funny. Like,
I'm disappointed in Tom.
I'm disappointed in him. Because I feel like as the only one second. I'm getting pelters in the chat, but no one's actually saying anything to actually concrete in why they think they can stop City's defense. I mean,
Tom just said like we just have to score more.
Like,
That's all we
Again,
can
bro.
do.
This
There's no
ain't football
tactical-
manager, fam.
There's
What
no
do you think
tactical
this
things
is?
that I can say.
What can
I'm
he
not going to
do?
pull up a whiteboard. I've not got a Monday Night Football whiteboard over here where I can go, look at this. Let's just pull up tactical analysis. Look the right back. No. What do you think we should do then, Egal? How do you think if you had this Liverpool team, you would stop them?
I would say you already know City's bad. You know your midfield's weak. Go to a 3-4-3. Personally,
Okay,
I
who do you
like the
play
idea
then?
for
Because we've got 2
3-4-3.
centre backs.
I
We've
think
got 2
I
centre
think you
backs.
bring
tell
in,
you.
I think if you have 3 solid fit center backs, you play
We don't.
the 3 center backs, and what you try to do is you try to go through the wings. You try to go through your
Yeah.
wing backs and attack using your wing backs. And to
Egal,
connect.
who plays right back? Who plays
I'm
right
not a
wing back?
manager. I am not Klopp.
So then
I
why
don't
did you
know
just
all the
ask me for
solutions.
it?
I don't know all the solutions, but I'm thinking at this moment in time, Liverpool are in a crisis. You need to be trying as many different things as you can to try to find solutions. And to think that your first solution that worked against Rangers, that didn't work against Arsenal, is now going to work again for City is ridiculous to me.
I like the idea of a 3-4-3.
I am not saying it will work. I'm
I've
just
said
saying
that
it's the
too.
only chance we've got. Where have I said it's going to work? We're going to smash City. It's well easy. I'm saying the only chance that we've got is if we play the 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, whatever it is, and by some miracle outscore them. Because we cannot control the game against them at the minute. Our midfield is dead, like you said.
Another reason why you
Yeah.
need another center back in there, aerially, you're going to need that extra help. Also, through balls, you're going to need that extra help. Also, your defensive
We don't have 3 centre backs.
I hear you, you know. I hear if they're Trent though, it would work. Like the right wing back, I would say Gomez or Konate either, or Van Dijk and a Robertson would work
I don't
easily.
even like
Newcastle
how
wing
thin
back,
our defence
Thiago
is, though.
Fabinho in the middle. That allows that for me. Then that actually means it allows Salah to actually play a little bit more closer to the striker, and whoever else you got Jota, Firmino can come off the bench, or even play Firmino up top. You can drop deep if you want to. You know, you should get Klopp off. Go get Tuchel. He's good at that.
We haven't got a wing back for this game. Your 3-4-3 that you just mentioned.
Let's play
Egal,
FIFA Ultimate Team, man.
We cannot play it. Your 3-4-3, the best way I could fit in plays in a 3-4-3. We've got James Milner right wing back, Nat Phillips, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Robertson, Thiago, Henderson will play regardless of how much we want Fabinho. It's going to be Henderson, Salah, Firmino, Jota. That's how he would play a 3-4-3. And you think that's got more of a chance than just trying to score, just trying to do what we do at home and hopefully score more. Set up with that defence.
I'm Milner at 49
Foden
years old at
early
wing back.
Haaland
You know what,
against
Tommy?
Nat
You
Phillips
know what, Tommy?
and Milner.
It's better than what you first said. Just pray that we score more goals.
That's all we can do, though. Why? I'm not saying that we play whatever formation we want, do whatever, yada, yada, yada. No, I'm saying we play the formation that we've been playing, and as a fan, pray to score more goals. Tactically, we'll probably push Salah inside.
Tom, I just want to say,
down the wing.
Tom, I just want to say, I'm also very disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. That's great. Let's get to some of these super chats here that have come through. I don't want to miss these. First one says, Jess and EGAL, who would you rather win on Sunday, City or Liverpool?
I prefer Liverpool to win. Or no, I prefer Liverpool to lose. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Why would you want that though?
Because I'm not. I need them fully out. I need
What
them
if they do
dead
the
in the water.
Invincibles this season? This is their one chance to lose. Imagine they get
Let me
treble,
tell you- let me
a
tell you right
three-peat, and
now.
an Invincibles.
Let me tell you
At the
right
end
now. What I care about more than anything is the present. The history, I get it. Invincibles, whatever, that would kill me. But I need Liverpool dead and buried. I need them done. I need them in the dirt. Because I know this team will mess around and win this game and start to believe that they can beat everybody. And if they start to believe, they will start to beat everybody. I need them in the dirt. Because the less teams that we have fighting for top 4, the better. Because if Arsenal go through a bad run, I don't want to see Liverpool behind us. I really don't. I want to see them dead and buried. So for me, I prefer Liverpool to lose this game, even though that would mean that Man City are doing their thing. Because again, I don't believe we're going to win the title.
Yeah, I hear you on that. This comment here says a lot of fans are turning on the owners, i.e. FSG. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that, to be fair. Will here says, I'm giving Klopp this season no matter what, even if we come 10th. Next season, if he carries on like this, I will reconsider. I blame Klopp and FFG 50-50 for this season. Thank you, Will.
This season's on Klopp more so.
Yeah. What is Tom saying? They build Arsenal 50 million for Benjamin and 35 million for Ramsdale. Calm down, bro. It's the same for all Premier League teams.
Them lot are English. There's an English tax.
No,
I think that's not right now.
There's
35
not.
million for Ramsdale looking like a good deal.
There's not an English tax. There's a good player tax. Good player tax. Sorry. Tom, talk about Klopp's assistant, bro. Ain't he the guy who messed up the entire system?
Our assistant manager released a book at the start of the season. He released a book at the start of this season, you know. He released
Pep
a book.
Linders, you know.
So maximum fit plus Wilson plus Bruno Guimaraes is a wrap already. Blaze thinks it's a wrap for Newcastle in that game. Why did Michael Edwards leave Liverpool? I don't even remember now.
Good as mine.
Yeah, money.
I don't think he ever gave a reason.
Yeah. Can anyone predict the game? We're gonna do predictions now. What's the score gonna be, Jessica Black?
3-2 City.
What you going with, Gal?
4-0 City.
Kaz?
5-2 City.
Thomas?
4-3 Liverpool. That's the only way we could win.
And I'm going with, you'll see my preview tomorrow when it comes out. That's when you'll see my prediction, people. Liverpool should go with a 4-3-3 with Firmino on the wing and Nunes in the middle. Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, and the whip should come from their left back, is what Clinton Mark says.
Firmino on the wing.
Firmino. Yep. Comedy Central just can take the money. Big up Terry in the panel. Has anyone seen the Spurs fan? No.
Where are you, Spurs fans?
Where are you? Come outside. He has DM'd me saying, no, I agreed to do a one-on-one. He did agree to do a one-on-one. Then he asked me for the link and the agenda for today. So I'm very confused as well. He's also shared, I'll tell you what he's done. I'm not going to share DMs, and I'll tell you guys privately why I'm not going to share DMs. It's very dangerous to do that. But he's taken screenshots, and you didn't send me any DM about tonight's show, but he's like petitioned it, so he cuts out the conversation that came later. And it's like, bro, just scroll down and show everybody what else you said. He ain't showing it.
Grown man, you know.
Grown man.
What does he think's going to happen on here? Like, we're just talking football, like nothing's going to happen.
He actually said, I don't want to go on live on your channel because all the his words were, all the arse anal and Chelsea scum fans will like come for me. And I'm like, brother, even if they do, right? Firstly, when you're on StreamYard, you just put the comment section onto private and you don't see any comments. Secondly, like, what's that got to do with anything? Like, you're not there. They're not with you. It is what it is. And he did say, why don't we do it on my channel? And with all due respect, and that sounds harsh, why would we want to do it on your channel when no one's going to see it? That's just pointless. We might as well just talk on the phone. That's not a dig. It's the truth. Like, if we do it on his channel, about 4 people will watch it. Might as well come on mine. Evening plus, I called you out. So, evening, Terry and everyone. Liverpool almost through to the round of 16 in the Champions League. Few reinforcements in the middle in January. Liverpool can still win the Champions League. Dinesh, you're right. They can win the Champions League still. That is Liverpool. If they turn this round and get into good form, they could win it. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. We are at the end of the show. Before I do that, I did want to get your predictions on the other top 6 game. Chelsea, Aston Villa. Do we see this being another bad weekend for Steven Gerrard? Another good weekend for Chelsea? What are we saying?
Yeah, unfortunately. City or Chelsea have like a nice little easy run to keep this little foundation going. It's really annoying. They'll definitely be
peak for Reece James though, man. He's injured, isn't he? Like this, I know his partners came out and said what he said, but this brother's injured, man. He needs operation. His peak because of England, but at the same time, we played him next week, so good. But at the same time,
all I want to say about this part too is that, you know, when it happens to your team, you're all like, oh, well, you know, we had these circumstances where our best players got injured. Nobody cares. You know, like, you guys are good enough. You should still beat Aston Villa, whether or not Reece James is there. Put Ruben Loftus-Cheek back there. You know,
Yeah.
Or-
The writing's on the wall for Stevie. It's just a matter of
Yeah, that's your.
He's
Don't
so
disrespect your
bad.
future manager. That's your
I
future
swear
manager.
to Christ,
Liverpool savior.
I love it.
If I see that man in my dugout anytime soon,
You might become your assistant manager. What I love is how whenever you're online and people are defending him, it is never a Villa fan. It is always a Liverpool
They
fan.
hate him.
That for me is
go into their last tweet, their last results tweet, their 0-0 versus Forest, and find me a tweet which isn't Gerrard out.
Because they know, and they've had a lot of bad managers there, and they know. Wolves here says, Terry, are you an Arsenal fan? Fan want know that.
Family want to know that.
A family want to know that. So yeah, of course, everybody knows I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I'm quite glad I'm being called one though, because in 6 months, when I'm praising another team for being good because they are good, you'll see people go, "Oh, he's a Chelsea fan," or "Oh, he's a City fan," or "Oh, he's a Liverpool fan again." It swings and changes. It is what it is. I'm praising Arsenal because they've been the best team in the league this year, and they deserve their praise. If Arsenal fall off, I will criticize them. It is what it is. That is what the Football Terrace is about. And how do I know this kind of platform works? Because every other person that owns a fan channel has either changed their channel to one like this, or started a show like this, or started a second channel that is just like this. It is what it is. I'll always speak the truth as I see it. Zero bias. That's my answer. And I know you know that, Wolf. You're a paying member and a super chatter. I know you're just having a bit of fun, but there we go. But
win 2-1, Terry.
yeah, I mean, Jack, so far this season, the team that are top of the league have been the best team. That's how league tables work. If you win the league, you've been the best team that year. If you come bottom, you've been the worst team. It's literally, league tables are the barometer for who's best and who's worst. They are not better than Man City overall. Never said that. But so far this season in the Premier League, Arsenal have been the best because they've dropped the least amount of points. That's how league tables have worked since the dawn of football.
But why does that bother people so much? It's actually weird. Like,
Because you Arsenal fans. That's why.
Yeah,
It
is just, yeah. I mean, a lot of people say it just to like wind you guys up and everything else. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a big thank you. Make sure you go and check out NordVPN before you go. Go get yourself signed up to protect your data online. Then go into the App Store. Switch your VPN on. Say you're in Moldova. That's what you got to do. Then you go to the VPN and you sign up to Setanta Sports. $2.99 a month for all your football needs, boxing needs, MMA, F1, and much more. $2.99 a month for all your games, including the 3 p.m. games. Go and get it done now. I've already seen the QR checker, and about 50 of you have gone and done that already, which is amazing because you know it's a brilliant deal. But until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very soon.